Hello, it is your famous author Mark Wrobel coming to you live with another interesting discussion. Today, we're going to concentrate our discussion on a total reform of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Now, because the reason I want to get into this discussion because I've been thinking long and hard about this. And everybody says that we live in the 21st century, that we're going to have flying cars, we're going to have uh, all this futuristic stuff, we're going to do space travel, and all these other things. Now, those things are all well and good, but what I want to discuss with you today is the total reform and revampment of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Because now there is a question. Now, I traveled all over the world. Okay, I've been to places like Dubai. Uh, I read about Dubai, Qatar, Israel, all those countries. Now, you have to ask yourself, why is, for example, the United Arab Emirates country, the economy keeps growing? For example, the Qatar, for example, that part of the Arab world, that economy is growing. Uh, the other thing is, um, Israel economy, it's okay and it's still growing, but it's growing slowly. But it's growing. They're doing fine, basically. Now, why is this happening? Because in those world economies, everybody contributes with their work. With their work ethic. Everybody contributes to the well-being of each of these nations. Now, can we do now? Can you ask yourself? Can we, the American people, have the same thing like Dubai or any of those other countries like Qatar has? Everything else. Yes, we can build skyscrapers. Yes, we can have Lamborghinis been driven down the street. Uh, yes, we can have basically this futuristic thing, but there has to be two things. One, there has to be a willpower to do this, and two, ladies and gentlemen, the second thing it has to happen is the Americans with Disabilities Act has to be reformed. Has to be either some of the parts have to be reformed, some of those parts have to be redone, some of those parts of the Americans with Disabilities have to be totally scrapped. And that is because, see, the reason those countries are like Qatar, like Dubai, for example, Israel, because those leaders understand that everyone has to contribute in their own way, even people with disabilities have to contribute to the well-being of this country. Now, we can have the same thing after we reform the Americans with Disability Act. Now, some people say, "Oh, this cannot be done. This takes too long." Look, Israel has done it. Um, the other country, what do you call it? United Arab Emirates have done it. Um, the Qataris have done it. So why not you? Now, why not us? Now, for because let's have a honest discussion here. The nature of work today, because let's face it, the original Americans with Disability Act has been signed into law into 90, in the early 1990. Okay, that's okay. But from 1990 until now, the nature of work has changed due to factors that you guys can figure out on your own. So, I mean, for example, I know some of you may think, oh, Mark, why don't you go through vocational rehab? We have services and all those. Ha ha ha. Vocational rehab. Those organizations either have to be reformed or scrapped. Now, the reason I say that those organizations have to be either reformed or scrapped is because, for example, see, here's how voc rehab really works. Because I've been through them, and okay, I'm gonna say okay, they have done some okay things for me, and that's fine. But in reality, see, here's how voc rehab works. For example, uh, they can certainly find you a job, but for example, the only jobs they can find you is, either pushing shopping carts in the in the Acme parking lot, for example, pushing in pushing shopping carts and collecting them and all that. The other thing they can find you a job at is probably they can certainly find you. Let's put it this way: a minimum wage job, for example. At McDonald's flipping burgers, that's for pushing shopping carts in Acme. Okay, they can certainly do that, but see, like I said, the nature of work and employment has changed through the decades, all the way from 1990 until now. That's why I am a big opponent and I'm in big favor of reforming the Americans with Disability Act, and to some degree, if we have to scrap the Americans with Disabilities, and if we have to come up with something new to replace it, that's fine too. But here's the thing, because, like I said, the nature of employment has dramatically changed. Okay, for example, nowadays it's has voc rehab changed to the point yet that, for example, because what we have to deal with is entrepreneurship. They don't those handicap or those organizations that work with people with, they don't teach them how to start up their own business. For example, they don't even teach them. For example, Poland is doing a little bit better for people with disabilities. I didn't say they're perfect. I didn't say they're good. They're doing a little bit even better at this point because some organizations in Poland that work with people with disabilities actually are teaching them how to start their own online store. But have organizations such as voc rehab done that? No. They don't even teach people with disabilities how to start your own business, how to basically work from home, how to basically create your own job, and to be honest with you, because like I said, traditional employment like we had 2 or even 3 years ago, even 10 years ago, that's a war. Now the best employment with people with disabilities, that because they might have mobility issues, they might have this issue, that issue, but the best employment for people with disabilities, in my opinion, is basically entrepreneurship. It's basically that a person with a disability should have its own business. But here's the thing: in order to start a business like that, a person with a disability has to be taught how to, so those organizations such as vocational rehab, Easter Seals can be, ladies and gentlemen, great partners, in basically helping people with disabilities, to secure basically for example, a business loan, stuff like that. To teach them how to secure, how to start a business, how to make your business grow. Because I mean, for a person with this, can a person with disabilities succeed in America? Absolutely. In America, sky is the limit. That's true. But you know, the the key to that success is, the organizations that work with people with this have to either be reformed or changed. I mean, the outlook on for employment has to be looked at differently. Now, the other thing that really seems to amaze me is, because, and the reason that that people with disabilities in America have a little bit of a hard time finding employment, and they have to work for low pay minimum wage jobs such as pushing shopping carts and Acme and all that stuff. That is because because unfortunately, and you have to have you need some brutal we have to have an honest and brutal conversation about this. And that is because, for example, a lot of businesses are not willing to hire people with disabilities. Excuse me. They're not willing to hire people with disabilities, ladies and gentlemen. And that is because of the Americans with Disabilities Act, the way it is written in its form, that employers generally are, what they are afraid of is basically lawsuits. And until the Americans with Disabilities Act gets reformed, and maybe some parts get added, some parts get subtracted, some parts of it will have to be changed, etc. Until that happens, no, you have to understand, because in America and all over the world, businesses now are private. They're private entities, and they can hire whoever they want. They can hire who they want. They can do whatever they want because it's their private business. But until the laws get reformed and basically America stops being a lawsuit nation, because see, most of the time, like in entrepreneur and other business owners who are willing, sure, to hire people with disabilities, but what they are afraid of is basically what they are afraid of, ladies and gentlemen, is lawsuits. And so that is the key why there's such a low number of people with disabilities working in America today. Now, I'm going to say goodbye for now, and I will see you in my next video.